Thanks very much for this opportunity. I'm hoping that you can give a message of clarity to the Canadian public. I just want to lay out a few facts. In 2021, we know, because I've read reports, that PRC WeChat disinformation sought to tell the diaspora voters that a vote for Erin O'Toole and the Conservatives would be like a vote for Trump 2.0. The esteemed panel site has already told us very recently that, as my colleague Mr. Nardi laid out, some of the disinformation you have seen was positively promoting Mr. Carney as a strong champion for Canada against aggression from Washington that would seek to make Canada a 51st state. It has just been reported also by some of my colleagues with CBC and the Post, confirmed yesterday, that the Liberal Party of Canada and its war room potentially has been a threat actor to this election in planting confusion and polarizing messages with fake buttons in a conservative community conference in the past week that would seem to suggest, or actually would suggest, that the Conservatives are part of the cleavage of extremeness in Canada that would be Trump-like and would not trust election results or polling results. I think I've characterized it very accurately. So to the panel, I'm imploring you, can you speak to Canadians and give them the confidence that you would look at that incident that has been acknowledged, and would you reach out to the Liberal Party and warn them that they have a danger of being a disinformation threat actor, perhaps even seeking to plant those disinformation messages within mainstream Canadian media sources, in this case exposed by a great reporter apparently. But my concern is, could you tell Canadians, do you have the capacity to look into that event and see whether there could even have been a crossover from a foreign state actor that would have sought to benefit from a new Canadian government being very strongly against Mr. Trump and seeking to perhaps convince Canadians that a conservative leader would be a Trump 2.0? Thanks very much. Appreciate your response.
Vanessa, maybe I'll start with you.
Let me start this way. National security agencies take any attempt to undermine our democracy really seriously, and we will continue to take action to ensure that Canadians are protected from foreign interference and quite frankly, to ensure that Canada's democracy remains strong. Not all cases of disinformation, are foreign-backed. Not all cases where disinformation is foreign-backed will be able to be attributed. And the Site Task Force, again, as I said earlier, is committed to come forward to speak plainly to Canadians when we identify emerging issues that can be linked to the foreign state actor. And so I make that distinction between those activities that we are specifically monitoring for, which is the range of activities by the hostile state actors that we have seen try to attempt in previous elections to influence our democratic processes using the tactics that we have shared with Canadians over the last several weeks.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask one more question. It has also been reported that Mr. Carney had appeared with a very prominent Toronto-based Chinese-Canadian commerce society, which has documented and proven intercommunications with United Front Work Department entities in Jiangsu province, and rather Jiangsu, I believe, Anhui province. And so the question is, for Mr. Carney appearing in a high-profile Chinese New Year event with very prominent leaders of that commerce society that has on its honorary board some Liberal Party members and has, as a past president, a Liberal Party Toronto area riding executive, with those events published on Chinese Canadian media of the Carney meeting with those leaders from the Commerce Group, could that be interpreted within the diaspora as a message that Mr. Carney would be the favored candidate of Beijing? And again, the reports from the Globe and Mail very accurately stated that the message from the websites promoting that meeting with the Jiangsu Commerce Group said that Mr. Carney entering politics was seen as a positive shift for Canada-China relations. Thanks for your response.
Start?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question. I'll start by reiterating that the efforts by members of the site task force are nonpartisan, and that we are again looking at the activities of foreign state actors as they might affect our democratic processes. So what this means is that the site task force is committed to making sure that we share with all parties recognized in the House and Commons information that is relevant to them in terms of the intents and the activities of those threat actors with regards to this current democratic process that is GE 45. So we will continue to brief parties on potential threats in this regard. And let's go back to what those threats are. The threats that we're monitoring for are the intents of foreign states to clandestinely and deceptively influence our democratic process. The benefit of these tech briefs and all of the information that has been out in the public domain by virtue of the many reviews related to foreign interference means that the Canadian public, individuals and organizations have quite a bit of information with regards to the tactics used by these hostile state actors, including the PRC, as well as how they have attempted to conduct that influence in the past. The best defense against disinformation and foreign interference is being resilient. That means that individuals, organizations, campaigns, and candidates can use that information to make themselves resilient to attempts for foreign interference. And that really is what we're trying to achieve through all of these tech briefs. And again, I would reiterate that attempts of foreign interference are not the same thing as successful attempts to foreign interference. And so the opening comments that Lori-Ann made this morning reiterate that we have not seen any attempts of foreign interference that have been successful in that they have compromised at this point in the campaign any ability for Canada to have a free and fair election with regards to any of the candidates or processes that have unfolded so far in the campaign.